Izabella here. Welcome if you're new to the channel. My name is Izabella, obviously. I make vlogs, I make animal videos, I make all sorts of videos. But since I noticed you guys really enjoy my vlogs, I decided to make something a little bit special today, a little bit personal. For this current vlog, I'd like to talk about my sleeping disorders, and I happen to have more than just one. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. My main sleeping disorder, which I had for the longest time, is sleep paralysis. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically characterized as being asleep. Your mind wakes up, but your body remains paralyzed, and there's different factors also that can play into this. Like in my particular case, oh god. Well, in my particular case, I'm fully aware of what my surroundings are, but I'm kind of trapped between here and where I am in the dream. So sometimes I would ask my body to wake up, to get up. I can hear and feel the things in the room, but I can also feel in here and see things in my dreams. So for me, during these sleep paralysis moments, it's extremely hard to wake up and differentiate if I'm still within the dream or if I'm about to wake up. Now I'll develop a bit more into this further down in the video, but I'd like to give you the full story, the full spectrum. I'm sorry if I talk a little bit weird. I still have my Invisalign in. So the sleep paralysis thing, it began when I was a teenager, maybe 14, 15. And my very first experience with sleep paralysis was quite traumatic, I would say. I was about 14, 15, like I said, and it was a very hot summer night. Very hot. These episodes usually happen when I'm very hot at night, when the weather is like crazy, when it's like not good in the room for sleeping. Usually if you want to have a good sleep, you should have a cooler room. Well, that wasn't the case. We didn't have AC in the house, so I was like really hot. I couldn't fall asleep, and my bedroom was on the second floor, and I heard someone going up the staircase, and at that point I was laying flat on my back. My cover was off, and I thought, oh, maybe it's my parents, they're going up the staircase, maybe they're going to the bathroom or something. But it was not the case. I saw someone enter my room, and my door was open at the time. Someone in a black cloak, like a black cape, and basically, let's say this was the door, and if you're next to the door, there's a wall, and against that wall there was my bed. And I saw that big figure, perhaps a man, walk around my bed and to where my head was positioned. And at that point I was certain that I was not sleeping. I was certain someone was actually in the room. So in my mind I say, pretend you're sleeping, just don't move. Whatever you do, you don't move. Like, who knows who that is? And I felt that person, like at some point my eyes were open, right? So I could see what was going, but the closer that person got to me, the more I closed my eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, please, 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 just go away. Pretend like nothing's happening, you know? And I felt that presence just lean down over me. And remember, it's a really hot summer night, and I felt someone breathe down my neck right here, just right here in this very spot. And the breath was incredibly cold, like it was like a ghost breath, you know? I'm telling you that now, as in my mind I was still fully conscious. That's what's really creepy about sleep paralysis, is that you truly think that you're conscious of what's going on in your surroundings. So I felt that enormously cold breath on my neck, and I began to shake. My whole body began to tremble, and I was just shaking and shaking, and this perhaps lasted several minutes, that I'm like, oh my god, I need to do something, I need to get out of this situation. And the moment I was finally able to open my eyes, because remember I was paralyzed in that moment, the moment I opened my eyes, the first thing I did is I took my hand and I put it against my neck. And despite it being a very hot summer night, my neck was extremely cold, just that part. So it was very freaky. It was very, very just, I didn't expect something like that to happen to me. Back then there was not much Google, so I didn't really Google what it was. At that point I assumed like there was actually something that came in my room, so I became a goth kid basically at that point. But later on in life it just kept recurring, and in the past years, actually every time I get really, really stressed or I lack sleep, I have several chronic sleeping disorders to prevent me from getting a restful sleep. So if I'm overworked and plus not enough sleep, the sleep paralysis would hit. And in the past year I had a tremendous amount of episodes of sleep paralysis, and I know this will sound weird, but the same presence keeps coming back, and sometimes it can be auditory hallucinations, I guess. Like I'm a very like scientific person, like, so I don't really believe like in the crazy occult, okay? So I would say scientifically it was just a hallucination, an auditory hallucination. But that presence came back last year. That's just like a few cases I'm going through, and I heard it talk to me. I heard like many screams, like very loud, to the point that I was like that in my dream. I was like that. I'm like, stop, it's too loud, I can't hold it. And I even heard like dogs, just like really raging angry dogs, just bark at me like hellhounds or something, you know. And my husband was in the next room, and it was, I promised him that next time I have this happen to me, I want him to come and see what it actually looks like for me. So I was like, Julian, but I couldn't say it like loud enough that he would hear that I was actually paralyzed and this was going on. And it took me like a good 5 minutes to get my body in motion again, so I could like get out of this situation. But it's very loud in my ears, and just the visuals of everything. Like I knew I was in my room, but I was also in that other world, wherever it is I go. And my main focus at that point, when I was paralyzed and I could hear all these things, was move anything you can move, just start moving it. And the only thing I could move at that point was my toes, and I started moving my toes like that. And then I'm like, okay, I can move the whole foot, I can move the whole leg, and it just like within 5 minutes I regained motion of most of my body. And I was able to go see my husband. It's like, you missed a good one, it happened again. And like in that week where I got like a lot of work and a lot of stress, I had it happen several times. Once I couldn't sleep at all. I went to the couch, and yet again it was really hot in the living room that night, and I couldn't fall asleep. But then the moment that my body would just stop moving, I guess I would hit into a REM sleep, but my mind would still stay awake and present in the room. And I thought I heard my husband come get me, because usually he comes get me in the living room, or I come back to bed or whatever. I saw a presence coming to the couch and say, hey, get up. But instead of being, hey, get up, it was that presence, and it was just laughing at me. It's like, you're paralyzed again, you're paralyzed, aren't you? You can't escape. It was so scary, because every time in my dream I would be able to move and get up, I'd realize, shit, I'm still in the dream. So I'd be back onto the couch. That presence would again fake being my husband coming to see me. And again, like it was like 4 or 5 times until I was able to finally step out of the dream and get into my body and just leave the living room. Once, it was the weirdest thing. It only took like 5 seconds. I went to the bathroom because I couldn't sleep. I came back to the bed. I laid. I didn't even have time to turn to my side to get comfortable. I got paralyzed there, and back into that crazy world of like furious demons and stuff. And like I said previously, I do not believe in these crazy things. Like, I mean, the possibility of crazy worlds exist. I'm sure like something is out there, but I don't mind myself into believing that. Like, I didn't even have time to turn around. I was like, damn it, I am already completely paralyzed and I'm shipped into that world, and now it's gonna take me forever just to get the motion back in my body. So sleep paralysis, this is what it looks like for me. I'm sure like for other people it looks differently, they have different experiences. I saw that in like books. A lot of people describe a presence sitting on their chest, which I do not have. I don't have anyone sitting on my chest. I physically know that I'm paralyzed, and I am in another dimension where there is like crazy things happening, like very scary things. Like, it gets to you. Like, after that, when you try to fall asleep again, it's very scary, even though like you're rational and you know it's not there. So because of that sleeping paralysis disorder, I also developed like insomnia and anxiety before sleep. Like, the moment I lay down, my heart starts palpitating, and even though I'm like relaxed and I think of happy things and I had a positive day, it doesn't matter. It's like a stress response. The body already knows what's coming, so it kind of is programmed. So I have like a whole array of things I have tried. First, the sleeping mask, because if I don't have a sleeping mask, any light that I see will keep me up for sure, 100%. Then if I hear anything out of the ordinary, I'll think it's the creature. I know it makes no sense, but earplugs, okay? Absolutely a necessity. Also, most people have teddy bears. Well, I don't have a teddy bear to reassure me. I have a bag of stones, and I know this is so weird, and I keep losing them every night, and then I freak out and like, where's my protective stone? So I have like tainted quartz. I hope you can see. Hold on. People do like that to show you what it looks like. I have a tainted quartz here. I have this one. That I don't know. I think it's an obsidian. I do believe it's an obsidian. And I have this one. It's actually I collected it in our Martinique. So it's like a volcanic stone from the sea. So I keep them all in my little pouch now so I don't lose them. And they kind of really help me like unstress most nights when I try to fall asleep. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's really a placebo effect. Honestly, I don't believe in any of that stuff. I know it's a placebo, but I need the placebo in order for me to fall asleep. Otherwise, I'll just freaking out. 1 second, it's at the other end of my bed. Stay there. So I also tried aromatherapy. I have like pumpkin spice latte, essential oils. I tried eucalyptus, but pumpkin spice and gingerbread kind of makes me relax more and makes me think of cookies. So if I smell a cookie, I'm like, oh, happiness, cookies. Another thing I didn't bring out, I also bought a projector of stars so you can see galaxies and stars above you. So that I usually do before bedtime. Not recently, but I bought it and I realized it doesn't work. Even though I have a galaxy projected on my ceiling, it's not relaxing to me. I've tried sound therapy, like the waves of the ocean, like tribal music. I have tried it all. I've tried meditation, I tried Wim Hofing, pretty much everything in the book. I tried changing my diet, but my sleep paralysis never really leaves. So asides that weirdness, I also have another, I don't think it's a disorder per se, just a weirdness about my dreams. I remember all my dreams, all of them, and I dream pretty much every night. And it's very vivid and it's very detailed, and I can write a whole story at the end of each night. When I manage to sleep, the times that I actually sleep, I dream a ton. Like, most people's like, did you dream? How was your night? I'm like, let me tell you this whole new novel that I saw in my dreams. But stranger than that, like, I see people that I know in it, I see places. But yeah, stranger than that, I can re-access my dreams even though it was like dreams years ago. If I manage during the day or right before bedtime to remember a dream that I had previously, It doesn't matter how long ago that dream was. It could be a decade ago, it could be last week, it could be last night. If I will to re-access that dream and do something different in it, I can access it the very next time that I fall asleep. So if tonight I think about a dream that I want to re-access, I'll be able to go back into that dream and relive that dream or develop it. In my mind at this point, I do believe that I'm just in a different dimension when I sleep, and I'm able to have a character in that dimension. It's like very weird because I don't play any video games. I don't partake in, like, I don't know, like cosplay, none of that stuff. It's just really in my dreams, it's a whole different world. And yeah, I know it sounds absolutely berserk to every one of you, but I'm that strange girl that has a ton of sleeping disorders. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit long, but I really want to cover everything that goes on, and I hope I help someone that has some sleeping issues. Maybe you guys can try some of my tricks, my stones. I was actually thinking of making a prototype of a teddy bear with like protective stones in there that, you know, maybe for kids or adults or anyone like me, that we can develop like a teddy bear and put a protective stone inside, obviously very safely so that the kid or the adult doesn't choke on it at night. But I am fully aware most of the time it's just a placebo effect, but just that reassurance that something is protecting you perhaps will help someone. Oh, and by the way, that 1 week that I had sleep paralysis most nights of the week, at that point I was certain I was getting possessed. I'm like, this is not happening. And there's two parts of that story actually. The first part is I was convinced I was possessed, and I contacted my witch friends, and one of them that very night said, hey, just lay salt all around your bed. And I have like a king size bed, so it was like 11 p.m. I started pouring salt all over the bedroom, around the bed. I had my protective stones, and I had a decent night of sleep actually that one time. And the next day I went and I got like some crystals to put all around the house to protect the house. I saged the whole place, but long run it didn't like fix anything. But another weird stuff that happened that very week is I told my story to one of my friends, and she said, oh, well, I have a friend that had that going on for a month, and she also thought she was possessed. Maybe it's something alike, because sleep paralysis is not very common, especially not like for reoccurring night after night. I'm like, oh, can I talk to your friend? Like, maybe we can like share whatever experience we're having. She said, well, you know, my friend, she suicided 2 years ago. And I was like, oh God, is that my future? Is that where my sleep paralysis is gonna lead me to kill myself because of a demon in my sleep? I was so scared, you know. But I'm a pretty joyful person, so I didn't end up killing myself. I'm like, the moment like she said her friend died of it, first I felt extremely sad, like what the hell, a young girl just killing herself over like sleep issues. But secondly, it also was like, if there's an actual demon, come at me, bro, come at me. So I'm very like fight type. I don't like run away from fear. Like if there's fear, I'll come at it. So I was like, okay, if there's a demon, I'm gonna fight you. But clearly I don't think there's an actual demon after me. I think it's just, I don't know. I have some sleeping disorder clearly happening in my brain. Perhaps my brain is hyperactive, perhaps some underlying issues, I don't know. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, because I know it's weird. I know you're gonna comment about it, so let's have a discussion about this. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.